Hey, we're Saints. Father Chris here. Welcome to our Crucifixional live stream. Glad to have you beautiful people with us on this gloriousness day. We are talking this week about being light versus dark. Stay away from the dark. Go to the light. Unless you're in the hospital. Then never go to the light. That's funny. You thought it was funny?
Good.
All right, that's good.
That's
Clever.
funny.
My topic today is I cannot tell you how many times I myself and witness others pass the blame, the responsibility to others. One of the things I hear often, so I'll use this one. This is a good metaphor. Students often say to me when they're not getting A's or when they're just having a hard time getting those A's in their classes, well, the teacher doesn't teach right. The teacher, never taught us this material. Or they said this would be on the test and then they threw other things to us on the test and so on. Things like this. We probably all said it. I probably said it myself. I know many, many young people, even in my experience, who say the same thing. And as I was thinking about it, I'm like, that's probably not the case because it can't always be the teacher who does wrong, right? Like if a teacher is getting paid to teach, they can't always teach the wrong thing, right? There's no way that always happens. The other part of it is, where is your focus on yourself? So that you're saying, all right, the teacher perhaps may throw us a curveball. Maybe I should be prepared for that curveball. Because you know what? Life is also going to throw you a curveball. And so maybe you need to be prepared for the test with curveballs as a training practice, a training regimen for life that also throws you curveballs. All this to be said, this perhaps silly little metaphor of a high school student struggling on an exam or whatever it may be, comes back to us importantly in Ephesians 6:1. Greg talked about it yesterday, which is, hey, look to yourself lest you also be tempted, right? Because the temptation is to want to throw stuff and blame and responsibility on another person. You got no control when you do that. You have no control when you do that, right? But when you take all things under your own control, and I'm not telling us to be control freaks where we try to control other people in their lives. And I also recognize that we're not always in control of everything around us. But when we relinquish all control and don't take what is responsibly ours back into our own hand, we have an opportunity to become like a high school kid who complains all the time that it's the teacher's fault, right? Instead, when things go awry, you look to yourself. You don't want to be tempted with this blame passing. You don't want to be tempted with anyone else's sin. Take responsibility for yourself, for your own action, for your own life. Now look, that's not an easy thing to do. It's very easy for me to stand in front of this camera and say, it's not always easy for me and you to do this. So in order to help us, we have created a truckload of resources. The first one is behind me. You can see our book called The Way of the Warrior Saint. This book has, countless chapters. There's 30 chapters in the book. One of them is about responsibility. One of them is about how to appropriately be a control freak. There are other chapters in the book that help us do this. You can find the book at warriorsaints.org. What you can also find there is our flagship course, which is called The Way of the Warrior Saint. And that's what we keep pushing, for you to subscribe to The Way of the Warrior Saint. In there, we have a multitude of classes, a whole gaggle of them that deal with responsibility, taking responsibility, not passing blame, not being a victim, not making someone else a villain, and on and on and on goes the list. It is something that is going to help us become the better man and better woman that we want to be. Look, the bottom line in life is this, and I'll end here today. People can succeed. People will succeed if they live their life the Christ-like way, which is what we call at the Warrior Saints team being crucifixional. In order to do that, we've put together a program at warriorsaints.org. It's a step-by-step program to help us succeed by abiding by the commandments of God. Join us. We're in the midst of the path ourselves, having fun with it, making some progress. Love for you to join us. Visit warriorsaints.org. And until tomorrow, as always, keep walking on the way of the Warrior Saint.